Monogamy began as a tool to track property rather than protect love. And your brain has known this for 50,000 years. Tonight, you are going to look at your partner or stare at a blank screen and feel that cold knot of anxiety in your chest. You know the one. The quiet panic that something is wrong, that you are failing, that you are not enough. We expect one single person to do the work of an entire tribe. We ask them to be our passionate lover, our financial partner, our best friend, our co-parent, and our private therapist, all at once. And when that impossible weight collapses the relationship, we blame ourselves. We have been told since childhood that humans are like swans, that we are biologically designed to find one person and stay there forever. But you are not a swan. You are fighting a silent war against 50,000 years of your own evolutionary history. This video does not argue for or against monogamy. It is simply a look at human history. The concept of locking into exclusive pairs for life is a very recent experiment, and the data suggests our species is struggling to make it work. When your partner goes quiet and panic starts flooding your body, that is not weakness. That is not insecurity. That is a biological alarm system calibrated 50,000 years ago. Your Stone Age brain cannot tell the difference between emotional distance and physical exile. To your ancient nervous system, being cast out of the group is a death sentence. No fire, no shelter, no hunting, no survival. So when you feel ignored, your brain floods your system with cortisol, the same stress hormone that fires when you face a physical threat. Because 50,000 years ago, loneliness and death were the same thing. Your relationship anxiety is not a personal flaw. It is a survival mechanism firing in the wrong century. If strict lifelong monogamy were our natural biological state, our closest evolutionary cousins definitely missed the memo. We share 98.8% of our DNA with chimpanzees, yet there are no chimpanzee weddings, no prenuptial agreements, no divorce proceedings over a shared tree branch. In a chimpanzee troop, females mate with multiple males. Evolutionary biologists see this as a deliberate survival strategy. If every male believes a baby might be his, no male will harm that baby. The entire troop protects the collective offspring. And when you look at human anatomy, many researchers find the same pattern in our own bodies. Human males have testicles significantly larger than those of gorillas, who operate in strict single-male harems, but smaller than those of chimpanzees. Many evolutionary biologists interpret this as strong anatomical evidence that our ancestors evolved in an environment where females mated with more than one partner. We still carry that blueprint. 50,000 years ago, your ancestors did not have marriage certificates or the concept of sexual exclusivity. They lived in nomadic bands of 30 to 150 people. Among the Hadza of Tanzania and the Juhwansi of the Kalahari, who have maintained this way of life closest to our ancestral pattern, researchers observe the same structure. Women retain full autonomy over their bodies and their choices. Relationships form and dissolve without legal consequence. The primary loyalty runs to the collective, not to a single spouse. Hoarding anything, food, tools, or partners, is a social crime that threatens the group's survival. This was not a chaotic free-for-all. It was an extremely effective operating system that kept our species alive for hundreds of thousands of years. In that world, raising a child looked nothing like the isolated experience we treat as normal today. For 95% of human history, a newborn did not belong to one household. It belonged to the camp. Anthropologist Sarah Blaffer-Hrdy documented that in traditional hunter-gatherer societies, a baby is held by multiple caregivers for up to 14 hours a day. Grandmothers, aunts, older siblings, and trusted neighbors all participate. The mother is never alone with the full weight of it. This is called alloparenting, and it is not a primitive backup plan. It is the environment our nervous systems were built for. Imagine explaining modern parenthood to a hunter-gatherer mother. Two adults, one apartment, one screaming infant. No grandmother down the hall, no sisters taking shifts, no neighbors who feel any obligation to help. She would not call this civilization. She would probably think the system was broken. In some societies, the cooperative logic extended even further. Among the Bari people of Venezuela and the Ache of Paraguay, anthropologists documented a belief called partible paternity. They believed a child is built gradually through multiple acts with different partners. A woman might choose the best hunter to give the child endurance, a skilled tracker to give it awareness, and her closest companion for emotional stability. When the baby arrived, all of these men shared paternity. They all brought food. They all protected the child. This was not viewed as betrayal. It was biological insurance. By spreading paternity across multiple men, the child gained multiple invested protectors, a safeguard against losing any single provider to illness or injury. But here is where the story breaks open. If this cooperative fluid system worked so effectively for hundreds of thousands of years, why did monogamy win? Why does strict pair bonding exist in virtually every civilization on Earth, from ancient Rome to feudal Japan, from medieval Europe to indigenous cultures across 5 separate continents that never had contact with each other? If monogamy is as unnatural as the evidence suggests, how did one social arrangement conquer nearly the entire planet? That is not a simple question, and the answer changes everything you think you know about love. The answer is not romance. The answer is grass. 10,000 years ago, in the valleys of the Fertile Crescent, humans began to farm wheat and barley. We stopped wandering and stayed. And the moment you decide to stay, everything changes. You clear a field. You plant seeds. You invest months of labor into a single harvest. Suddenly, you have property. And property raises a question the nomadic tribe never had to answer. Who inherits it when you die? In a world of fluid relationships, you cannot answer that question. Many historians and anthropologists argue that early agricultural societies responded by restricting the reproductive autonomy of women. One leading hypothesis is that monogamy was not invented as a romantic ideal. It emerged, gradually and unevenly, as an audit trail to establish paternity and secure the transfer of land across generations. Marriage became a legal contract. The wedding ceremony was, in many of its earliest forms, a property transaction. And the fence you built around your field became the fence you built around your partner. Today, you pay a bank every month to maintain a version of that fence. You sign a 30-year contract on a concrete box, cut off from the communal network your nervous system was designed for. Your ancient brain still reaches for the tribe, for shared meals, for the loose, interlocking web of relationships that made survival feel possible. But modern life hands you a single contract with a single person and expects that one relationship to replace everything the tribe once provided. We have loaded the full weight of an entire community onto one set of shoulders. And then we wonder why it collapses. You sit in the quiet of your apartment. The walls are solid. The lock is secure. The mortgage payment went through. But the tribe is gone. And somewhere deep in your nervous system, an alarm is still running, searching for a signal that never comes. You spent years thinking you were the problem, too anxious, too needy, too much. But you were never broken. You were simply a Stone Age brain trying to survive inside a contract designed for farmers. The mortgage is paid, the private property is secure, but the tribe is gone. So here is the question. If you could raise your next child with the constant support of 10 trusted adults instead of one exhausted partner, would you choose that world? Or has something changed in us that makes us want the cage? Tell me in the comments below.